TV, starting place to the likes of WWE female superstars Cathy, Kelley, Sonya, Deville, and Zelina Vega proudly presents Women's Wrestling Weekly, the world's first podcast and YouTube series dedicated exclusively to women's wrestling, featuring all the latest news as well as interviews with top superstars in the industry. And now, AfterBuzz TV's own gorgeous lady of wrestling, TK Trinidad.
Bonjour, you're watching Women's Wrestling Weekly, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, aka the Canadian Assassin, and I am not alone. We have two fabulous co-hosts. We have like a little rotating thing here. He's the Kings County Cooks kid from Kenya.
So close that time.
Please welcome Globito.com.
What's going on, y'all? So glad to be here on Women's Wrestling Weekly.
He's not from Kenya, for real. And then she hails from the Valley, the Smoky Valley, that is. She is a farmer's daughter. Please welcome Emily Mae.
Hey, everyone.
She's not really a farmer's daughter, but you know, that's how we roll.
Hey, keep it going.
Kenyan farmer's daughter.
We have an amazing show today. We're going to be doing the Star of the Week, but we have amazing guests because that's what we do. She's been in the game for over 10 years, and she's Ohio's very own. Please welcome Zoey Skye.
Hey.
Yay.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Thanks for hopping on. So 10 years is a long time, and the great thing about this show, that's how we do it. We talk about female wrestlers, and from ones who are starting 2 years ago, from ones who started 10 years ago, and we're bringing the light to all these wrestlers because it's not just WWE that's around. There's a lot of wrestling going on, especially right now. So tell us how you got into the industry.
Yeah, so I've actually been wrestling about 12 years. I had my first match in 2007. I feel like everybody's probably heard the story, but I just loved pro wrestling when I grew up. My mom found a local promotion because I knew nothing about indie wrestling before I started. And so I found this local promotion. I checked them out and told the promoter, JT Lightning, that I wanted to train to be a professional wrestler. And here we are 12, almost 13 years later, and I'm a professional wrestler.
And now, how's the game changed since from when you started to right now?
Man, tremendously. I just talked to somebody about this last night, actually. When my very first match was against a guy. Nobody cared as much for intergender wrestling or knew. I guess I can't really say they didn't know about it. It just wasn't a big thing. It was, oh, you wrestle guys. And it just happened because there weren't very many girls around. And now there are so many crazy talented females out there that wrestling guys is just as intriguing as wrestling girls. Like it's the same thing now. It's not, oh, you're wrestling a guy. It's, oh, you're wrestling a guy. That's cool. So it's just that transition in itself is crazy. But the amount of talent that so many young ladies have now in itself is also tremendously just it's blown my mind. There are so many talented females. I love what I get to do, and I'm so glad it's evolved the way it has.
What has been your training journey like? Because 12 years, that's a long time. I'm sure you've had, I see you've had a bunch of different trainers. So how has that been, and what challenges and what things do you like about it?
Yeah, so my main two trainers were JT Lightning and Johnny Gargano, back in 2007, 2006, 2007, 2008. So it was getting my foot in the door, trying to figure things out. And of course, I love doing training seminars and I love going to other schools. I love helping out other people, but I still want to learn as much as I can in this business. It's so crazy the amount of the styles and the changes that so many individuals have. You can go back to some old school guys such as like a Tom Pritchard and learn so much, and then go to somebody newer. There's just so many talented people who have a mindset that can help you expand from the norm, and so it's great to be able to just see each person and their differences and help take that and evolve from it.
Now, between the two trainers, Gargano and JT, what type of advice have they given you that you kind of carry with you throughout your career?
Sorry, my cat is back here playing, so I don't know how loud that was. She's like creeping at the back of my phone. That thing won't turn off. Great. JT was my initial trainer. a bit of a more, I guess, old school, aggressive vibe to him. He was very, very, I mean, not that Johnny wasn't, but he was very, very passionate. It wasn't his way was the only way, but it was, you're going to learn my way, and then don't be afraid to learn others. He passed away a few years ago of cancer. And actually now his daughter is training to wrestle as well, which is fantastic. But his style was always, and his demeanor in general was always very aggressive. He was very a nerve-wracking person to go up to and talk to. He was very intimidating. Johnny was very, very quiet, very mellow, and just wanted to train, just wanted to get better. He wanted to help other people. At that point, when he started taking over class and training, he was probably 19-ish, 20 years old, and at that age was taking over the school and running things. And while he was bettering himself, he was helping the students and helping us get better. So obviously he brought in a bit of that evolutionary rule where he was taking things and turning them to something a little bit more than what he had learned and more than what the old school vibe was. So it was just two great learning experiences, not too different, but at the same time so different that you could see a gap between a bit of an old school aggressive vibe to a new school easygoing, we just want to think outside the box rule.
Fantastic. Fantastic talent, storied career. Let's talk more about Zoey Skye and what does she represent to a show when she's on the card?
Man, I hope it's something positive. I've always been, I'm 5 foot tall, give or take 100 pounds on a good day. I'm very small, but I feel as though I bring a fun energy. Whether you see me as a good guy or a bad guy, I just bring an energy that I want a crowd to be able to respond and be attracted to what is going on. I like to just be me and have fun. And, as far as I'm concerned, I just want everybody around me to have fun as well. So hopefully that's the good vibe that everybody gets from me.
Do you have a preference, heel or babyface?
No preference. It's always been easier as a babyface. I'm small. I have blonde hair. I'm a small girl. But no, at this point, I have so much fun doing anything. As long as I can just go out, entertain a crowd, that's all that matters to me.
And as far as matches wise, I mean, you've had quite a few matches over the last 12 years. Is there anybody that you want to have a match with that you haven't had a match with yet?
We're pushing it really close. I know she's retiring at the end of the year. Victoria from WWE. I would love to get a chance with her. And of course, there's so many girls who I've gotten a chance to work with who I'd love to work again. But I would definitely say between Victoria, probably a cheerleader Melissa, and a Madison Eagles, or it would be three very top scale names that I would love to get a chance to step in the ring with.
And now, is there anything that you want to do in the ring that you haven't quite done yet?
Sure. Everybody always asks me, my thoughts on being signed to WWE or being signed to Impact or anywhere for that matter. And to me, I've always felt like that was a goal. And it's not that it's not anymore. As long as I get to wrestle, I get to enjoy this journey and I get to make some money and just make new fans and meet new people. It's fantastic. But I would definitely love a chance to get on that TV level with some bigger companies at Impact, WWE, and NXT, just because I feel as though I could bring something to the table. And even if nothing lasted forever, that's okay. I just want a chance to show that I feel as though I can fit in there.
Since you've been doing this for 12 plus years, what's some advice that you could give some young wrestlers?
Oh man, yeah, I always just keep so much to myself, and I don't realize sometimes when I am giving advice and so forth. But really, it's just don't be afraid to think outside the box, and don't be afraid to go someplace new to expand your experience. For the longest time, it was, this is your training school. This is where you train. If you go anywhere else, it was looked down upon. But here we are, it's 2019, 2020 is right around the corner. If you feel as though you're stuck in one spot, you're going to be stuck in that spot. You can go to a training school. Once you get the okay that you can, you're doing well and you're progressed in your training, don't be afraid to go someplace else and get a second opinion and just learn in advance. Training seminars and other training schools you don't realize how much so many different people have to offer you. So that's my advice, is just go in and don't be afraid to go someplace else to train and advance your own skills.
Totally.
Now, there's a lot of wrestlers, well, that I've noticed that come out of Ohio. And Ohio has this particular, I don't know, gritty, like just authentic vibe about it, especially for wrestling. Can you explain kind of like the Ohio? Is there like a Ohio format, or like what is it? What is it about?
Midwest strong style.
I know. What is it about Ohio and Ohio wrestlers? Like, you know, one, you let them know that you're from Ohio, which is great, but it's just like there's just some type of I can't explain it. Can you explain it?
I can't, but I know exactly what you mean. It's literally been like this since I started. I didn't realize how many people from Ohio got their names out there and got on a higher level, and bigger promotions, and got signed by so many places. But the thing is people don't realize Ohio is a huge state. From Cleveland to Cincinnati, you're looking at easily a 4.5-hour drive. That's from corner to corner of the state. So there are just so many training schools and so many different people to learn from. I feel as though the main couple of groups right now that are just bringing out all this talent. You have Absolute Intense Wrestling up in Cleveland. They constantly have students coming out. Mega Championship Wrestling always has students. You go through and filter through the center of the state. You got Akron and Columbus and so many places that have little schools. And then you go down to Dayton, and all those guys that go down to Dayton and for Rockstar Pro, they come out with just stepping up their game just entirely. I just feel like when people come to Ohio, they just want to get better, and there's just so many talent that stay in Ohio that you come here and you learn.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe it's in the water. Like, you know how like New Yorkers are known for just being like this kind of tough thing. It's almost like that with like Ohio wrestlers, but like they're legit, if that makes sense. I don't know.
I'm from New York and I'm offended too.
I know. I can't put my finger on it, but there's just something about Ohio wrestlers.
We should investigate. We need a road trip. We're going to go around Ohio.
We'll go out and just talk to all
come on. I promise.
Talk to everyone, see some shows.
That's fantastic. So I know wrestling is a vagabond's lifestyle. You know, you get up, you get your gear out there, you drive for hours and hours, and sometimes they give you just a hot dog and a handshake, as they say in the business, right? Oh. There got to be some times in there where you're going like, am I progressing the way I want to? And of course you stuck with it, but what made you say, okay, I can't quit, I'm not done here, I'm going to go to the next step?
Yeah, and there are definitely still even now times where I second guess what I'm doing. I start to wonder if I've given everything and I've gotten everything out of what I've given. But I definitely feel as though I'm far from anywhere near being finished. That hot dog and handshake is definitely well past. That's no longer okay. But I definitely just feel like, especially now, like again with all of the crazy talented women that are out there, there's no time to stop. I want a chance to work with all of these talented ladies and even the guys too. But of course, with how many more women there are now than when I started, I want an opportunity to wrestle with all of them. So when I see somebody from Texas or California or Florida or anywhere stepping up, I'm just like, okay, I can't go anywhere yet because now I got to get in the ring with them and see what they're all about. So that for me, it's just being able to keep that journey along, keep getting my name out there, and just keep enjoying what I'm doing.
Was there a particular moment when you said, I've arrived, or I'm at this level, I'm ready to party?
No, I never feel as though I honestly am surprised of where I am. I've never doubted anything that I could do, but I've always felt as though I had much more that I don't see what everybody else sees. I feel I love the opportunities I've gotten, but I feel as though I know I can step up and I know I can do better. So I don't know what everybody else sees. By all means, I love to hear that people like me and they love seeing me and they want to see me in these big promotions, these big companies, and just keep going. But I just feel as though I need to see what they see, and I'm ready to just show that I do belong in those places. So, I love what I do. I'm not going to change what I do, but I definitely feel as though I'm ready to step up and show that I belong, and anywhere.
And when we're researching you, I'm seeing Angel Dust and Zoey Skye. It looks like you made kind of a change. What brought on the name change?
Yeah. So my first match, it just came about. My name was Angel Dust. It stuck for 12 years. I I wanted to change it. I never liked the name. I didn't want to keep it. I hate my real name. So it was I wanted to change. It took forever. I never took time off. I never got hurt. It disappeared for a while. I never wanted to take the time off. So it was, for me, it was like, how do I do this? How do I go about it? And one day I spoke to a couple of girls and a couple of promoters, and was just like, this is it. I just need to make the change now. If I don't change it now, there's no point in changing it. Right. And I've definitely gotten, why did you change? Why did you wait so long? Why did you change it? Why did you change it now? But I didn't like the name Angel Dust. So it was time for a change. So.
And how was that process with fans? How did they react when you changed things?
Thankfully, most of the regular fans already just knew me. They knew who I was, and my social medias didn't change, so that I just changed the name. I didn't delete something and restart. I kept what I had, just changed the name, so that helped a ton. And it definitely helped that in the process of the name change, it was when I was starting to get a little more well-known, getting bigger opportunities, wrestling for Rise and Shimmer and so forth. So even though I still use the Dust name there, people are able to follow me a lot more because they see that same resemblance. So now everything is getting tagged to Zoey Skye, even though I still might be using the Dust name. So thankfully it's not too bad. I still get people that ask, I see Angel Dust when I type in your name, but thankfully people are still finding out that if there was a name change, I am still around.
Yeah. And then what's a wrestler without 2 or 3 names anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
Trademark them all.
I know, right? So we're going to, anything, Flobo?
Oh, no.
So we're going to get into rapid hot tags real quick.
Women's Wrestling Rapid Hot Tag.
So what's going to happen is I'm going to ask you some questions, and you're going to say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Oh, no.
So, ready? Always early or always late?
Always early.
Last person you text?
My fiance.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
What is the one thing you love about yourself?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Really?
I'm not a confident person in myself. No.
I'm seeing beautiful hair and beautiful face and
Hit people for a living, though. That's
Thank you. I've always been one to approach and care for other people more than myself.
Okay. Well,
So I guess that's one thing I like about myself. I care about other people.
it was a rapid answer.
You're caring.
Favorite wrestler?
Shawn Michaels.
Who would play you in the movie?
Oh, I don't know. I'm terrible with actors and actresses. I have no idea.
Okay. Well,
Myself.
Yeah, there you go. Last show you binge watched?
I'm watching it now. Schitt's Creek.
Oh my God, I love that
So
show.
funny.
Oh my God. Sorry. I love that show.
Tangent.
If you were a crayon, what color would you be?
Black.
And if you were to listen to one album for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Anything Godsmack.
There you go. See, that was simple. Not too bad. We learned some new things. Where can people find you?
Man, I came prepared with my business card next to me so I could read it off. I've got my Facebook and Instagram at Zoey Skye Official, and then my Twitter at Zoey Skye Pro. So social media is the place to be for me.
And now 2020 is coming up. Any plans or any game plan for 2020 as far as wrestling?
No, I just hopefully some more international travel is still in the works. But if the initial plan doesn't happen, then I'm hoping to at least get overseas somewhere. At this point, I just want to make a bigger name for myself. Travel more and just get out there.
Well, congratulations. Thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it. There's only more for you. I mean, you've been grinding, so we definitely look forward to more of the rise and being signed to places. I don't know if you know, we have this magic where after somebody gets on the show, they usually kind of get signed to different promotions, TV promotions. So we don't have that power to put a phone call, but you never know. It happens. We're
Putting
like 3 and 3. So thank you so much for coming.
Now I know what I'm looking forward to.
There you go. Thank you so much for being on the show, and definitely stay in contact. You're officially a friend of Women's Wrestling Weekly.
Yeah.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
No problem. So we are gonna hit this. I really love Flobo when he does this. We have a nice little thing. He's in studio, but he's out of studio at the same time because that's the magic of television. We're gonna hit the star of the week real quick.
Hey everyone, it's Flobo, and now it's time for your Star of the Week. Angela Queen Arnold, or AQA, is a relative newcomer to the sport of professional wrestling, but she's already making an impact. A homegrown talent based at Booker T's Reality of Wrestling promotion, AQA has impressed others with her speed and toughness. It's only fitting that she cites both Booker T and Triple H as her wrestling influences. Over the past year, she was able to capture the Reality of Wrestling Diamonds Division Championship for the second time, and there's no signs of her slowing down. For her keen work ethic and desire, AQA is your star of the week.
Flobo.
Okay.
Flobo.
Okay.
How were you able to run from studio to studio like that?
Oh, man.
And change outfits. Boom.
Magic.
So where can people find you guys?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at FloboBoys, on Instagram at Flobito, and of course, Flobito.com.
All right, and you can find me at Emily Mae Heller on all social media platforms.
And thank you guys so much for watching the show. Without you guys, we wouldn't be the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. It's been an amazing ride. Thank you, Zoey Skye, for joining us. Other than that, you guys can follow AfterBuzz. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, AfterBuzz Sports and Wrestling. Also, AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms, and WPW Weekly on all social media platforms. And you can follow me, your girl, TK Trinidad, at TKTrinidad.com.
Hey, girl.
Till next week, guys. Ciao.
From executive producer Kevin Undergaro, producer TK Trinidad, and me, Maria Menounos, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Women's Wrestling Weekly. To help TK, the crew, and women's wrestling in general, we ask that you subscribe, rate, and comment on Women's Wrestling Weekly at Apple Podcasts, and subscribe to our AfterBuzz TV wrestling channel on YouTube for this and other outstanding wrestling content. Buzz you later.